everyone, in this video we will cover the current affairs. I am Nuzhat Sana. For mobile optimized ebooks, please install GK Today Academy app. You can attend the quizzes on this app for better practice, and after that you can also read the detailed explanation of the questions you have missed. For regular updates, please check our Telegram channel. The link is given in the description box. You can subscribe to it if you find it relevant. For hard copy books, you can visit our website gktbooks.com. Okay. Also, our latest initiative is UPSC Prelims Test Series for 2021 and 2022 in GK Today Academy app. So if you are appearing in UPSC Prelims, you may consider joining this. So now, without wasting any further time, let's get started. So today we'll be discussing most important MCQs for 20th of July 2021. Starting with very first question, which institution has launched a new scheme named as FASTR? The full form of which is Fast and Secure Transmission of Electronic Records. So this has been launched by Chief Justice of India N.V. Raman, and under the scheme, the Supreme Court will instantly transmit bail and other orders to the jail authorities, district courts and the high courts. And this process will be done in a secure way electronically. So as per the present practice, hard copy of the bail order received by hand is mandatory, but now this process would be completely electronic. So here correct answer is option number B. Now apart from it, Supreme Court has recently issued a notice to Center on use of section 66A of IT Act, which was actually scrapped in 2015. So what does this section says? Actually it provides punishment of maximum 3 years in jail along with some amount of fine on sending offensive messages through computer or any other communication device such as phones or tablets. So earlier Supreme Court had struck down this provision in 2015, but still there are about 745 cases which are pending and active before district courts in total of 11 states. So that's why Supreme Court has given notice to Center to comply it with the rules, and hence in result, central government has directed all the states and union territories to withdraw FIRs under this section. Now I hope this act is clear in your head. Now there is one more section of IPC which is quite important. It's section 377 and it is related to LGBT. And do remember that first country to legalize same-sex marriage is Taiwan. And recently Hungary has passed anti-LGBT law which bans this type of content from schools. Now let me make some space to discuss our fundamental rights. So I am removing this picture. Actually this is related to your polity section because lot of people gets confused in section 377. It is related to IPC and not the Indian Constitution. Okay. So in the Indian Constitution, there are 6 fundamental rights which have been provided to each and every citizen. 6 fundamental rights are there. First is right to equality. It's from article number 14 to 18. Then second is right to freedom. Article number 19 to 22. Then third one is right against exploitation. It covers trafficking and exploitation of women and children, and it is related to 23 and 24th articles of Indian Constitution. Then fourth is right to freedom of religion, means you can adopt any religion whatever you want to, and it deals with 25 to 28. Then fifth is your cultural and educational rights. It's 29 and 30 articles, and most important article is the last one, right to constitutional remedies. Means if you feel that the above 5 fundamental rights are getting exploited by any person, you can go to high courts or Supreme Courts. Okay. And one more important thing is this right has been declared as heart and soul of the Indian Constitution by which personality? B.R. Ambedkar. So this is a quick revision of your fundamental rights. And this LGBT things come into right to equality because it says that you cannot discriminate any people based on RRCSP, means race, religion, caste, sex, place of birth. Okay, so do not get confused between IPC and the Indian Constitution. Okay. Question number 2. Which country chaired the 7th BRICS Labour and Employment Ministers meeting held in July 2021? So already I have told you many a times that for this year BRICS presidency has come to India. So whatever events and conferences would be held this year, it would be presided by India. Okay. Along with this meeting, earlier we have seen that there was first ever BRICS Employment Working Group meeting, and again it was hosted by India, and various issues were discussed in this event, like how to formalize our labor market and how to increase the role of women in the labor sector. Then one more event is there from BRICS. It is BRICS Foreign Ministers virtual meeting, which was hosted by India once again. Talking about BRICS, it has 5 countries: Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. South Africa is the latest country to join this organization. Then recently we have talked about Dushanbe, which is Tajikistan's capital, and it was the venue of recently held SCO meeting 2021, or you can say Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting. And in this event, our External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar also participated. Then talking about some more important hosts, few days back there was 17th BIMSTEC ministerial meeting, and it was chaired by Sri Lanka. And the BIMSTEC has 7 countries, and which are they? India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bhutan and Bangladesh. These countries are from South Asia. Then apart from these 5, 2 more are there: Thailand and Myanmar from Southeast Asia. Now talking about G20, there was G20 Labour and Employment Ministers meeting, and it was hosted in blended mode by Italy. Then also there was Global G20 Health Summit, and it was again hosted by Italy along with European Commission. Also do remember that Italy was the host of COP26 along with United Kingdoms, which was held in Glasgow, which is a city in Scotland. So this is a quick revision of your host and event. Okay. Who is India's Union Minister for Labour and Employment? It's Bhupendra Yadav, and he chaired the 7th BRICS meeting. So in this event, the 5 countries resolved to recover with stronger national economies, inclusive labour markets and social protection system. And do remember that 6th meeting of Labour and Employment Ministers was hosted by Russia in Moscow in the year 2020. Question number 3. India recently held a virtual maritime exercise Shield, with which countries? So recently India, Sri Lanka and Maldives National Defence Force held a maritime search and rescue exercise named as Exercise Shield. So this TTX, or you can say the tabletop exercise, was held virtually, and it aims to share best practices and fine-tune procedures to curb narcotics smuggling in the region. And do remember that Indian Navy's Western Naval Command was the lead agency, and the exercise was coordinated by Maritime Warfare Center, which is at Mumbai. Apart from it, recently we have seen that India and France has conducted the Varun naval exercise in the Arabian Sea. Then there is X-Desert Night 21 exercise, and it is a bilateral air exercise between Indian Air Force and French Space Force. Then there was 7th edition of IONS, which has been hosted by France recently. What is this? Indian Ocean Naval Symposium, and it was concluded at Reunion Islands, which is a French department in Indian Ocean. Now talking about Maldives, it was in news recently because Foreign Minister of Maldives, who is Abdullah Shahid, has been elected as new President of United Nations General Assembly. Also, India and Maldives have signed a Memorandum of Understanding for cooperation in sports and youth affairs. Then there is one more exercise named as Shantir Ogroshena, or you can say it as Front Runner of Peace. This was held in Bangladesh between which countries? India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka and Bhutan. So these were the countries which participated in this exercise. And do remember that Bhutan has become the first country to use India's Bhim UPI. And Bangladesh was in news due to its Haribhanga mangoes. Why? Because Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has recently sent these mangoes to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. So this is also known as mango diplomacy. Then Sri Lanka was in news because the Sri Lanka Central Bank has announced that it has minted two coins, one is gold and the other one is silver, to celebrate 100th anniversary of Chinese Communist Party. Talking about military exercises between India and Sri Lanka only, one such exercise is Mitra Shakti. Now you have to tell me the name of one such exercise which is held between India and Maldives only. Question number 4. Gira Sarabhai, who was in the news recently, was associated with which field? So she is veteran architect and designer. And why she is in news? Because she has been passed away recently at the age of 97 years due to obviously age related illness. And she has played a vital role in founding NID, that is National Institute of Design, by bringing in topmost people of the world as faculty. And she also established Calico Museum of Textiles, which houses some of the rare specimens of textile from different parts of the country and the world. Now talking about some more important demises. First name is Stan Swami. He is priest and tribal rights activist, and recently he has been passed away. Then second is President of Haiti, Jovenel Moise, and he has been assassinated recently. Then there is Sundarlal Bahuguna. He is the founder of Chipko movement. Then also we have lost a veteran athlete, Milkha Singh, and do remember that he is the only athlete to win gold at 400 meters at Asian and Commonwealth Games. Then there is one more name, Kenneth Konda. He has been died recently, and why is important? Because he is the founding president of Zambia. Now apart from these things, let's talk about some of the recent appointments. First is Sher Bahadur Deuba. He is new Prime Minister of Nepal. Then Israel has its new Prime Minister, and who is it? Naftali Bennett. Then Ibrahim Raisi is the new President of Iran, and you have to tell me Bashar al-Assad has been sworn in as a president of which country? Question number 5. Child Tax Credit Program is a flagship program being implemented in which country? So recently the United States government has started providing monthly payouts as part of an expanded income support program. So now under this program that has been further broadened under recent COVID-19 pandemic, all the eligible families collect an initial monthly payment of up to $300 for each child under 6 years old and up to $250 for each older child. Okay, so this program is from USA. Now apart from it, Government of USA has recently unveiled an online hub for the victims of ransomware attacks. So this will actually help the companies and municipalities to find resources and get assistance if they are targeted by cyber hackers. And the government has also announced that it will pay a reward up to $10 million to the person who can provide useful tips to track down cyber criminals who are backed or directed by foreign governments. Then apart from it, US Senate has recently passed a legislation to ban the import of products from China's Xinjiang region. Why? As the US has been condemning China for genocide against Uyghurs and other Muslim groups. So this is actually Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act. Now can you tell me from which countries Indian Navy has bought MH-60 Romeo helicopters recently? Question number 6. Jacob Zuma, who was in the news recently, is the former president of which country? So he was the president of South Africa from 2009 to 2018. But after being charged for corruption, he became the first South African president since the end of white minority rule in the year 1994 to receive a prison sentence. So this arrest has triggered looting and violence in the two most popular provinces of the country. First is Gauteng and second is KwaZulu-Natal. And a record wave of COVID-19 infection is also grappling the country. And the current president of South Africa is Cyril Ramaphosa. And to control the silence, over 25,000 troops have been deployed. Now apart from it, Mohammad Yunus is important. Why? Because he will receive the Olympic laurel at the Tokyo Games 2021. And he is the Nobel laureate from Bangladesh. Actually, his pioneering work of micro-lending has led to much poverty reduction across the globe. Hence, he would be honored for his extraordinary work in sports for development. Then talking about Tokyo Olympics, flag bearer for this event is MC Mary Kom and Manpreet Singh, and they will be flag bearers for opening ceremony. For closing ceremony, the flag bearer would be wrestler Bajrang Punia, and the flag bearer for Paralympics would be Mariyappan Thangavelu. Question number 7. Which Indian institution has developed a heat-tolerant COVID vaccine? So recently, IISc Bangalore along with Minvax has developed a heat-tolerant COVID-19 vaccine formulation which has been proven effective against all current SARS-CoV-2 variants of concern according to a study in animals. So this formulation also protected hamsters from the virus and remained stable at 37 degrees Celsius up to a month and at 100 degrees Celsius for up to 90 minutes. Apart from it, do remember that Covishield must be kept between 2 to 8 degrees Celsius while the Pfizer vaccine requires a specialized cold storage at minus 70 degrees Celsius. Now apart from it, IIT Hyderabad has developed COVID Home, which is an artificial intelligence powered COVID-19 test kit for self-testing at home. And as per the team, the kit can provide COVID test result within just 30 minutes at home for both symptomatic and asymptomatic patients. Then IIT Guwahati has developed smart window material which can automatically control climate of buildings. Also, IIT Guwahati has found the ways for better water management policies in India through virtual water analysis. Can you tell me how IISc Bangalore is related to ARWU rankings? Please write in the comment section. Question number 8. North-South gas project is a gas pipeline agreement between which of the two countries? So recently Pakistan and Russia have signed an agreement for construction of 1100 kilometer gas pipeline from Port Qasim, which is in Karachi, to Lahore. So this project is commonly named as North-South Gas Project and it is also known as Pak Stream Gas Pipeline Project. So a special purpose vehicle has been formed between Pakistan and Russia with a shareholding of 74:26%. Now apart from it, Pakistan Parliament has recently passed a bill which criminalizes torture and prevents custodial deaths by police or other government officials. And talking about Russia, recently Union Cabinet has approved Memorandum of Understanding between India and Russia on cooperation in coking coal. Can you tell me in terms of coking coal, which state is the largest producer? Question number 9. Which union ministry launched the COVID Tika Sang Surakshit Van Dhan Aur Udyam program? So this has been released by Ministry of Tribal Affairs and it aims to fast track the pace of COVID vaccination among the tribal people in India. So this campaign will focus on 45,000 VDVK, that is Van Dhan Vikas Kendra of the TriFed, means Tribal Cooperative Marketing Development Federation of India, and it will be implemented with the help of traditional village headsmen, self-help groups and ground level workers in the villages. And who is our Minister for Tribal Affairs? It's Arjun Munda. Apart from it, recently Education Ministry has designed and launched School Innovation Ambassador Training Program. Also, recently India's first artificial intelligence powered grievance management application has been launched by Ministry of Defence with the help of IIT Kanpur. So do remember that this one is also the first artificial intelligence based system developed to improve grievance redressal in the government, and hence this tool can understand the content of the complaints and also can identify spams and repeated complaints. Coming to last question, Boh Valley, which was seen in the news recently, is in which state? So this is in Himachal Pradesh, and a heavy monsoon has led to flash floods in Bhagsunag region and lower Dharamshala areas. Also, a massive landslide has been reported in Boh Valley, located about 30 kilometers from Dharamshala. Apart from it, an earthquake of 3.6 magnitude has also occurred near Shimla of the state at a depth of 10 kilometers from the mean sea level. Now talking about Himachal Pradesh, recently cultivation of India's first monk fruit from China has started in Kullu, Himachal Pradesh. Then there is Bol Bum Yatra, which is in news these days. Why? Because it is usually held in the state of Odisha, but this time due to COVID-19 pandemic, the state of Odisha has decided to ban on the religion activities and congregations of Bol Bum devotees. And earlier, Uttarakhand government had cancelled the Kanwar Yatra for second term in a row, and our new chief minister of Uttarakhand is Pushkar Singh Dhami, and you have to tell me with which constituency he belonged to. Now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions. And at the end of the lecture, do not forget to share your scores in the comments. So please be honest and do not cheat with yourself. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked the session. These were the important news and events from today, and we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK Today. With this, me Nuzhat Sana signing off.